Alright guys, welcome back to Marshall Remodel. This is the Mad County Build series, and on today's show we are going to prepare for tile in the upstairs bathroom. And I know there are tons and tons of different ways to do this. I'm going to show you how I do it, tell you why I'm choosing it to do this way, and then make sure you stick around to the end because I have a couple questions for you guys pertaining to the floors in a bathroom. So let's go ahead and just jump into the show. So when I put cement board down, I like to cut all my pieces for the room all at once, and then once I have them all done, then I'll lay my thin set and get them all in place. And it's as simple as cutting drywall. You score it with a knife, and then you can break it and then finish your cut. Alright guys, to cut a hole, all you do is mark your hole out. If you don't have a hole saw big enough, which I don't, you can just score it with your utility knife, take a hammer or like a screwdriver. There you got your hole. Whenever you're cutting with the utility knife, you got to be really careful because these things will slice you open fast. So when I'm making a cut like this, I like to put my knee on one end and then get my other hand at the beginning of the cut. And then I'll make the cut. So if I slip, I'm not going to run my hand over. If at all possible, if you can keep two hands on the knife, that's a good way to do it too. Like when you saw when I cut that circle out, I had both hands on the knife. That way, if I slip, I'm not going to hit my other hand. And I've learned that from experience. So that's just a quick tip. Just be real careful with these utility knives. All right, we have all the pieces cut for 2 of the bathrooms. So we're going to go ahead and get that set and screwed down. So Emily is going to put some painter's tape just along the bottom edge of this. Just gives you a little protection there. And then make sure any staples or anything sticking up is hammered down or taken out, and then sweep while I go mix up some thin set, and then we'll get this set down.
All right.
Like I said in the beginning of the video, there's lots of different ways you can do this, and I choose to put thin set down, one because the manufacturer for the cement board says to. However, that's not the real case. I feel like it fills in the hollow spots where the plywood joints meet. If there's a lip or anything, it evens that out. And by the time you get your cement board down, you have a nice, flat, even surface, so all of your tile edges will meet up. Another question that I've been asked is, can you lay tile directly to plywood? And the answer to that is yes. They make thin set that is for that. I have friends that do it and have great success with it. But I think the biggest determining factor is, what is the rest of your floor going to be in your house? I'm having 3/4 inch hardwood flooring, so by adding that 1/2 inch of cement board, that brings my tile up to pretty much even with that hardwood, so that transition between the bathrooms and the other floors is a nice even transition, which in my opinion makes it really nice. I use a 1/4 inch square notched trowel to put the thin set down between the plywood and the cement board. And then as far as fastening goes, I will always use screws. I think you can have success with nails, but I had a bad experience with nails, so I always use screws. I think the holding power is better. It sucks that cement board down the way I feel it should, and it just works out real nice. I put them about 6 to 8 inches apart. I know that's a lot of screws, but you want this to be rock solid. So right before I put the thin set down on the plywood, I'll mark out the size of the piece of cement board just so I know to put the thin set just outside that. That way I'm not stepping in it and getting it all over the place. Just makes for a little bit cleaner installation. So while you're spreading your thin set out, you can see right here that I'm getting a low spot, and you want to have good even coverage. So all you got to do is push a little more thin set over into that space where there's not enough, and then just go over it again. It's important that it's good and even. That way your cement board will not have any hollow spots underneath it. All right, so this is going to be 2 boards wide. So instead of starting at this side again, I'll start my board over here. That way these seams don't line up. You don't want 4 corners to line up, so you want to stagger those. So it should end up being right here somewhere, which will be fine. So after you got your cement board down, you can come back later and tape and thin set all the seams. I use a mesh tape and then just use the same thin set I use to put it down on all the seams, and you just got to get it as flat as possible. So, if there's any edges after it dries, you can easily scrape them off so it doesn't affect your tile installation. This, from my experience, has been a really solid way to prepare for tile. I've had good luck, good longevity with my tile installations, and one of the main reasons I use 1/2 inch cement board is typically because I'm always putting down 3/4 inch hardwood floor in my living spaces, and that's no different here in this house in the upstairs. I'm laying 3/4 inch hardwood everywhere else, and by putting that 1/2 inch cement board down, when I put my tile, it comes very close to matching up with the height of the hardwood. So typically what I've done in my bathrooms on the floors when tiling is I run the tile up to the wall, then I put a tile baseboard. So I'll use mastic, put a tile trim piece, and then I'll grout this seam here. And then that has kept any normal amount of water from, you know, going down and along the walls or anything like that. So I'm interested in hearing what your guys' thoughts and opinions are on waterproofing the floor in your bathroom. I'm not talking about a shower or anything like that. I'm just talking about the floor. If you have thoughts, opinions, leave them in the comments. I'd love to read them. We appreciate you guys watching, and when I get to finishing the tile, installing the tile, I'll bring that to you, and we will catch you on the next video.